Morning. And this morning we've come to an old ruined manor house called Hollinshead Hall, dating back to the 14th century. Before we start our little tour, let me just tell you a little bit about where we are. It's situated on the edge of Darwen Moor and Anglesart Moor in Lancashire. It's about 5 miles east of Chorley, 5 miles west of Darwen, about 15 miles south of Preston, and about 5 miles north of Bolton. Now, it was built in about, the first records of it being owned by John de Radcliffe in 1311. Now, there are many owners. I did a drone flight yesterday. I may explain a bit more about during the drone flight. But I'm just going to take you around now. It's a beautiful spot. It's very difficult to actually see a great deal from ground level. It's just a load of low walls. We're at the edge of a deep pit here. I don't know what that was. And we'll take you up there. There's a well house. The only building that is still standing is a well house over there. The rest of it has been pulled down. Now, it was built in 1311. I'll tell you what, don't look at me. Why would you want to look at me? Let's walk around and look at it. Look at the building. Look at the walls. It's quite big, it's quite extensive, it's quite impressive. All right, over there is the well house. So you've got the house itself, the hall, which, let's have a walk up here. And then, let me just climb on top of this wall here. If my little ancient legs, 68 next week. Shouldn't be doing stuff like this, I'm an idiot. If we look, and over there, I hope this isn't too dark when it comes out, it's very dark on my screen. Over there are stables and outhouses, and it goes round to the well house over there, and that's where we're going to have a walk to now. It's quite a dark morning. A lot of cloud cover, but we have been forecast, I think it's the 14th today, the 15th, something like that, and we've been forecast bright skies today, about 21 degrees, going up to about 27 by the weekend. We've already organised our barbecue. And this is the well house. Now I hope you can see it. And from there, water will be pumped up. I wonder if you can see inside. There is a gate, a door. Now, it's locked at the moment. Said to be haunted, this place. Very wet underfoot. But if we can get in and have a look. You can't see anything. I can see it just about. And you can see it's quite an ornate, it's just like a pump where the water comes out of a well under the ground. But obviously, like in those days, can't just leave it like that. So they built like an ornate little surround round here, little Gothic pillars at the side of it. All very cute. It is getting a little bit lighter. I must admit, the moors round here are absolutely beautiful. It's Lancashire, it's lush, it's green, it's rolling. We are surrounded by deciduous woodland. There is some conifer woodland up on the moor side. I think some of this will have been part of an initiative that I was involved in in 1973, plant a tree in 73. At the time I was working as a forester for the Earl of Derby, and that's one thing we did. We went out and planted loads of conifers. I didn't agree with it. I don't agree with it. Those people who know me know my views on planting conifer woodland. But there you go. This is just woodland for me. It was a beautiful walk in. There's a patch, there's a spot as you walk in where Angles Art Moor dips down one side and Darwin Moor goes up the other side. There's a gap in between it. And through that gap, you can see the Lake District fells. You can see them this morning. It was beautiful. It's about 6 o'clock now. We were walking about 5:30. There was a deer watching us. Roe deer, I think. I'm not big on my deers, but I think it was a roe deer. And we actually saw we saw a blackcap singing on a little tree stump a few yards from us. So it was really, I mean, without even coming here to this beautiful old ruin, it's been worth it just for the walk in and the walk out. Molly was a bit reluctant because Molly's 11. But as soon as she's off a lead, she doesn't run away. She never has done. She's good like that. But she's trotting along, sniffing and, you know, enjoying life. We're actually walking now through the centre. Right, let me just turn the camera around yet again. Now this part of it here would be the stables. I think there was kind of a small farmhouse kind of thing, because we're like immediately behind the manor house proper here. We can see stables. They're like bays, 3 bays. Over here, there would have been, in those days, they probably made their own beer. They made small beer, because early, especially when in the, like the 13th century, they'd have made their own small beer. Oh God, you won't be able to see it. You will not be able to see it, but there's a tree right in front of us, just to the other side of that wall, a small shrub. Just to the right of that is a deer, and it's watching us. I don't know, I'm just going to hold it here for a second. In editing, I may try to zoom in a bit. I am getting eaten by midges. It's awful. How beautiful. How absolutely beautiful. A deer. When we were walking round earlier, before we started, there was a dog fox ran through about 20 yards from us and then ran like into the field and started shouting its head off, which was really, really cute. Yeah, and so there's other buildings here, but this is of the later building, which was built 1776. The first one was built in 1311, or the first records of it are 1311, and the second one was built in 1776. And then it was actually went into disrepair about the end of the 19th century, you know, 1890s. And that's when it was pulled down, and that is when these are the ruins that we can see here. The brickwork was used for building walls locally and was taken down to build a couple of cottages in nearby Belmont village, which is a couple of miles to the south of us, which is a lovely little village, and I drive through it on my way home. I cannot believe the midges. Molly's having a good time. There she is. She's beautiful. It's difficult at ground level to show you what a place it is, but I'm hoping the drone footage will show it off. Better get down off this wall before I break my neck. I can see cows in the distance, Frisians walking all together in a group, walking away. God knows where they're going. Probably for milking or something, I don't know. I am getting eaten alive, so we're going to call it today shortly. We're going to head back now, because I'm getting chomped alive. And we enjoyed our little trip to Hollinshead Hall. We have got great history, haven't we? there's nowhere, well there are purposes all over the world, but I just love our history. And it goes back 1311. I'm standing now in the middle of a building that was lived in by families from 1776. 250 years ago. And there had been a building on this point at one point being owned by Charles I from 1300. Over 700 years ago, here. It's fabulous. I'm surrounded by beautiful deciduous woodland and I love it. Anyway, if you like our channel, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. Press the like button, ding, because that gets the YouTube algorithm fairies all worked up. And we're now heading out through a small gate hall, back up a track, over the top of the moors, back to the car. I'll see you soon, kids. Peace and love. The earliest records of the origins of Hollinshead Hall appear in a 14th century document because in 1311 John de Radcliffe owned 100 acres in a place called Hollinshead in Tockholes, and it was then passed on and then by 1641 it had technically become the property of Charles I of England, who rented it out. In 1776, the then owner was John Hollinshead. His name was just a coincidence, nothing to do with Hollinshead Hall. In 1776, he had it almost entirely pulled down. That's the original hall, and remodelled, and those are the ruins we can see today. And by 1845, it had been sold to a Lawrence Brock Hollinshead, or it had been passed on to Lawrence Brock Hollinshead, and that was sold to Eccles Shorrock from Darwin, and that was in 1845, and by the end of that century it had gone into disrepair and was pulled down. So it was pulled down around 1900, and those are the ruins we can see today, and those are the ruins we are looking at. But it has been there, the hall has been there since the early 1300s. Isn't it mind-blowing?